Ну, шевелитесь, get in.
We've sent a strong message to this attack, Makarov.
That was no message. This is a message.
The Americans thought he could deceive us. When they find that body, all of Russia will cry for war.
Hello everyone, Shooty here. As I said before, I wanted to make another video that was separate and it would highlight Makarov better. But I also wanted to take the time to highlight Makarov's introduction level, that being the now infamous No Russian. This is probably one of the most famous Call of Duty missions ever. Like, bar none. Probably the only other mission that comes close to having any level of just general knowledge, maybe in the gaming community as a whole, would be All Gillied Up from COD 4. The rest of this entire game and all, this mission is, it's got infamy, and it's got infamy for a reason. It has got everything going for it. So I want to, like, pretense the rest of this real quick, with the caveat being that the way I'm going to talk about this level might sound like I think very highly of what is going on in the level, and I do from a story standpoint purely, and not from the actual events in this level. I know that's kind of obvious, but I do feel I need to point it out because some people might like take it as like I'm some kind of psycho weirdo, and it's not like that. When you actually stop to think about what this level is and what it means, it's got such a shock and awe to it, to what exactly this level is. Because this level is Makarov's entire character. Um, it is basically, in essence, one of the greatest storytelling pieces in gaming history, and for reasons you might not actually think about. So let's like dive into dissecting this level. Um, so for very obvious reasons, I'll give a quick broad stroke of what the level is. So you're playing a undercover CIA agent named Alan, who has been put like in close proximity of Makarov. Um, Basically, Shepard wants to have an inside man who knows Makarov's every move and all that. And Makarov has a well-established history of being a psychopath killer. There's an entire loading screen that talks about it.
This man Makarov is fighting his own war, and he has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideals. He trades blood for money.
Now, the reason why this level does stand out from, in my opinion, a lot of other levels in gaming is because of, typically in a video game, when they introduce a villain to you, the villain is usually doing something to the player, or in Call of Duty's instance, most of the time you're just told that the villain is a bad guy, and then you have to get rid of him. And that's usually enough for the typical COD player. Most Call of Duty players, when you hear, this guy's evil, we need to get rid of him, that's good enough. This mission goes a step further. They put you in the shoes of the villain, and then the game literally gives you the option to help the villain do his evil. At no point does the game ever tell you to shoot the civilians in the beginning. It never ever tells you to. But you, the player, are given that freedom to be one of the bad guys for just a little bit. And that to me is like one of the craziest fucking things ever. Because again, normally when you play a video game, it's like, oh, yes, General Bokuku, he's the leader of the Pupu PP warlord tribe, and he's gonna fucking kill everybody. You have to go stop him. This game's like literally like, hey, you want to help Makarov kill a bunch of civilians? Here you go. And then you're like, wait, what? Oh shit, I guess it's too late. I guess I'm in too deep now, guys. There is not many times where games do that. I can't think for a moment where a game puts you in the position where they literally let you be the bad guy doing the evil thing. And that to me sticks out a lot because when I was a kid and I was playing this level fucked me up for a little bit. I felt dirty playing this level when I was a kid. I felt like I was doing something wrong. I felt like I was like taking like money out of my mom's purse. That's kind of like it's crazy. But you're doing this like terrible thing at this airport. And they're not real people. They're fucking they're code, and mesh is meant to look like people, and so they're not real people. But it feels so real, and it sticks. And for me, anyway, in particular, it stuck with me. It's not something that typically happens a lot anymore, especially, is when you have a moment like that stick with you. And mulling it over the years, I could see why it stuck with me, and I think it's a good reason why it stuck out to the gaming, like a lot of people who play video games, maybe outside of the broad, very obvious. Oh, it's a game with you're shooting civilians, so obviously, it's gonna stick out to you. Well, and that's true, but it's kind of like not. It's almost unheard of in a way. There are games like Postal and all that. They openly encourage you to just be like a psychopath, but you don't expect it from a mainstream game like Call of Duty. This game and this level, like, it sent shockwaves through everything. Like, this was on Fox News at one point. This level was the talk of the town when it came out for a little bit. Very briefly, but it was still the talk. It was still talked about. So it's got that staying power to it that really, it really like, it's hard to put into words. And it's not like and that's kind of why it's kind of an enigma to me in a way. Because then you dive deep into what the level means. So, I guess I kind of lost myself describing the plot. and I'll unbury the lead. But basically, you're an undercover CIA agent, and you're put in the shoes of to get close to Makarov. And basically, Makarov knows already that you're an undercover agent, and we don't know how he knew. We don't know who told him. or whatever. We just know he knows. And he uses it to his advantage, because Makarov's not an idiot. And that's one thing this level is meant to do, is to help you understand that Makarov is not an idiot. He's not the mad dog killer quite like Shepard thinks he is. Like, yeah, he is a mad killer, but he's got a method and a motive. So Makarov's backstory I should give real quick, because it helps a lot with understanding. It helps to understand what this level really means in the big scheme of things. Makarov's backstory is he was Zakhaev's right-hand man the whole time, and basically Zakhaev kept him on a short leash because he knew that Makarov was like a crazy motherfucker. So he kept him on a short leash. And when Zakhaev died, they don't really like go through it in detail in the game, but they do in like Modern Warfare 3 in like Soap's journal. But basically, the people in charge of the ultra-nationalist party, they kind of like molded in their heads a bit. They're like, you know, this Makarov guy, yeah, he's kind of like a important figurehead in our cause, but he's kind of a crazy asshole. Let's just get rid of him. So they kicked him out, and then they won this war. So, and this is after Zakhaev died. So now you have to put yourself in the headspace of a guy who literally, he lost his best friend, and his other friends kicked him out of the club. Makarov is pissed at the world now. He does not have any fucks to give about anything or anyone now. And it doesn't help that he's already a psychopath. He's already somebody who, he's like, if you read the newspaper clippings very slowly and carefully, you'll see he's like bombed fucking soccer stadiums and schools and shit, and he's not a fucking stable individual. If you take all of this into consideration, he's not in a good fucking place in life. So now he wants to fuck everyone over. And General Shepard literally, by complete accident, hands Makarov his meal ticket. He literally accidentally gives Makarov the ammo he needs to completely fuck everybody over. And that's Alan. So now we're gonna like dissect the level by where it is. The name of the airport that you're shooting up, it's Zakhaev International Airport. This is an airport named after Makarov's best friend, who just got killed in the last game. He picks this place to shoot up. And literally, when the cops show up, he's got this one line right here. So, he's shooting up an airport named after his best friend. Why is he doing this? Because he's trying to piss off the people who pissed him off. He's trying to get them angry, because they like Zakhaev too. But they also don't like dead civilians. And Makarov understands that. So he goes to shoot up a fucking airport. And then he knows, or he has the foresight, if I kill this stupid American that's with me, this is going to start a fucking fire. And it's going to be so goddamn delicious. That is literally what Makarov basically is doing in this level. Is he is fucking over the people, literally everyone who's ever fucked him over. He's fucking over the Americans, and he's fucking over the Russians. He's sticking it to the people who screwed him over in his head. I need to be clear again. Makarov is not a sympathetic person by any means. But this one level right here, the information they give you in the loading screen, that he's some kind of mad dog killer and mercenary, blah 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 blah, and then the one line for Zakayev as he's shooting up an airport named after Zakayev, it gives you everything you need to know about Makarov. They literally tells you Makarov is Makarov is the Joker without a sense of humor. That's what he is. He literally is a psychopath who just wants to watch the world burn. And he gets what he wants. And that's what the scary part about him is he literally got what he was looking for. Mull that over in your head for a little bit. And think about how, there's a beauty in the simplicity of Makarov. You get, for instance, Voss from Far Cry 3. And Voss is a good villain. But he gets a lot of attention because he has a lot of screen time. And he really gets to interact with the player a lot. And then contrast that with Makarov, though. A character who does not have a lot of interaction with the player, but the interaction he does have, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And to top it all off, there's a lot there told to you in a very simple package. Reiterating it again, Makarov wants revenge, so he literally shoots up an airport named after his best friend, and then leaves a fucking American corpse there, so that way the Russians think the Americans did it. It literally is this juicy little piece of storytelling that is super easy to overlook, and I love that. I love when, whether the writers intended it or not, when writing is put there and it's meant for the player to mull over and think about rather than it's told to you directly. Because there's something about the discovery element that makes it so much better. And then it's even the way this level plays too. This level is very short. It's the shooting gallery inside the airport. And then after going through one corridor, you're outside where the planes are shooting up the SWAT team. And then the last part is literally you go to a fucking ambulance. It's a very, very short level. But the way they tell you the level and show you the level, it's amazing because it's designed to force you to sit through everything in just the right way. When you're in the shooting gallery killing the civilians, they don't let you sprint through that whole part. You have to walk through. Even if you don't want to kill the civilians, you have to walk through it and watch it all happen. So they make you walk through this level, and they give you these little nuggets too of Makarov's character, just how much he doesn't give a fuck. There's this one part, and I'll try to clip it right here, where Makarov shoots a grenade launcher at a restaurant, and one of his guys are literally right next to the fucking restaurant. And he doesn't even fucking bat an eye. He just shoots the fucking grenade launcher, reloads, and then moves on to the next group of fucking unfortunate people. Makarov, this is just how much he doesn't care. There's even the part where, towards the end, when you're leaving heading towards the ambulance, and the two of the rando guys that are with you, they're scripted to die. There's literally nothing you could do. They're scripted to die, and Makarov just says, yeah, leave them. They're dead. It's that's how much little of a fuck he gave. On top of that, again, and then they go to this airport, and doing all this, and they're not even wearing like ski masks. Like Makarov wants the world to know who the hell he is, essentially. Like he wants people to fucking see him, essentially. Like I said, he's like the Joker. He's putting on a show, except he doesn't have a sense of humor. He's more direct, like he's more direct than the Joker. The Joker would make like a fucking puzzle out of it with like puppets and spray paint, but Makarov, he's just like keeps it very like he keeps it very Columbine and just has some fucking machine guns. So it's very like and that's kind of like what makes the whole thing scary is it feels real. Like it feels too real. The whole thing, it feels too real, and that's kind of like why this level like really hits home. But after the the shooting gallery, and when you're actually fighting the police officers, it's not a big area you have to fight the police officers in, but you can't like just rush through them or anything. They literally like put a bunch of waves of SWAT officers with riot shields to slow you down. So you can't even just like buzz through them that quickly. You have to take your time and like work your way through all these different SWAT officers and stuff. It's a very slow burn, despite the fact that the level, again, is very short. I think you can complete it in like 5-10 minutes flat. But it's a slow burn, and it's meant to stick with you. It's a very like excellent piece of storytelling. I guess that's the bottom line I want to get to, is that this level, as fucked up as it is this very excellent piece of storytelling that does like have this like element of it's like terrifying. This level is scary as fuck because of what's happening, and then you, the player, are put in those shoes. And on top of that, it gives you all this information you need to know about Makarov within this tiny little package. And once again, this is about the only time in the whole game he shows up. The rest of the game, he's absent. Unless if you count the radio call between him and Price. So, yeah, this is like a great piece of storytelling. And I don't think we need more airport shooter levels in Call of Duty games. But I would like to see more clever storytelling like this. Storytelling that isn't like told to you directly. It's just got small little context clues that you have to put together yourself in your head. It's not something you get a lot, especially in a Call of Duty game. So it's just, yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about it. This is just no Russian. That's all I got to say about it. Is even the line "no Russian," it's got this ominous feeling to it. So this is like basically part 2 to my compare and contrast series, but it's more of a focus on no Russian as a level and Makarov as a character, and the whole I guess I hope this puts a nice little bow on the villain part. I guess that's all I gotta like really say about this. I don't think this video needs to go more than 20 minutes tops. Part 2 will probably be about the protagonists. That's the thing I'm mulling over right now. I don't have a script for this series. At first I wanted to make a script, but I decided that I prefer my more off-the-cuff stuff. I do have a general idea about my thesis and how I want to look through things, but I'm generally keeping this very, very, like, broad stroke and off-the-cuff because it feels more natural that way. I don't feel like I'm forcing an idea out. I feel like I'm sharing them. So anyway, take care till the next video.